Google considered buying some or all of Epic during Fortnite clash, court documents say. I read up on this a tiny touch. This is a funny kind of knee-jerk thing. When you hear about these disputes, you're like, wait, I know Epic's a big company, but these other companies that they're beefing with, those are big companies. The likes of, I don't know, you heard about these guys in the past? These Apple types, these Google types. Like, no, those are... Epic's like, we got a company. They're like, nah, we got a company. It's a nice little company you got there. We got a company, though. So you wonder, hey, why don't they just squash it and just go ahead and acquire these guys that they're beefing with? Eat them for lunch!
That's like a video game, right?
I don't know.
Like these big blobs that eat smaller blobs to become a big blob.
I mean, it happens in business, right? You ever heard of Jeffrey Bezos?
Sure.
That's what happens in business. You know, they you don't have to beat them if you can acquire them, but then you got to go talk to all the variety of government bodies that oversee this type of thing, and then they say you can't do that. You can't just buy up everything. Every time there's like a telecom merger being presented or whatever it might be, and then they go and talk to the people, and they're like, "We lobbied over here. We took you golfing, and we ordered dessert." And you got to let this merger go through. And they're like, you know what? We tried, but this is really terrible for the consumer. We can't let this happen. You know, the whole monopoly talk and whatnot. Will?
Yeah, don't do that.
Google has gone so far as to share its monopoly profits with business partners to secure their agreement to fence out competition, has developed a series of internal projects to address the contagion it perceived from efforts by Epic and others to offer consumers and developers competitive alternatives, and has even contemplated buying some or all of Epic to squelch this threat.
Squelch.
I don't know about you, but I don't want to be squelched.
No.
You go ahead and squelch yourself, but you leave me alone.
Sure, yeah.
Anyway, these are internal documents, and these are, what would you say? Those are accusations. That's what
tweeted
things
about it.
Sounds like that's what things sound like in a courtroom. And the reason Epic would care to let you know about this, or would care that you hear these internal documents or read these internal documents, is because they say, well, see, that's predatory. This is what Google wanted to do all along. They knew they wanted to limit your choice as a customer, and they even would have gone so far as to completely acquire us to avoid the contagion effect of other companies and brands recognizing how unfairly they were being treated, and so on and so forth. That's essentially what goes on here. And it's not just Google, obviously, it's Apple in there as well. So it's not so simple as your knee-jerk reaction. It's not so simple as, why don't you just buy those guys instead of having these problems and sitting in a courtroom. Like, why is Tim sitting in a courtroom? Doesn't he have other things to do? Why is Sundar over there? Doesn't he have other things to do? And it's like, well, it's not that easy, man. You can't just go in and buy everything up, okay? It's not that easy.
Yeah.